Coming out of high school in St. Louis, Tershawn Wharton weighed under 200 pounds, playing D-line. Fast forward to 2020, and Wharton had bulked up to 280 pounds, but still went undrafted. Good news, the Kansas City Chiefs took a flyer on him, and the rest is history. It was fair to assume the last time Graham would put on this uniform was late November when he got hurt against the Rams. Torn tricep, almost always a season ender. We're here from the NFL's fan experience, and although neither of us play in the National Football League, Ailey thinks she can resemble a player a little more than I can. The reason why Elliott is Andy Reid's left-hand man is because at just 4 years old, he fell out of the back of a pickup truck and lost the use of his right arm. Here on Radio Row, Ian Nicholas and Riley Underwood, alongside Adam Shine from Sirius XM and Mad Dog Radio. Of course, a Syracuse alum covering your 21st straight Super Bowl. How does that feel? We're going to put a couple of these fans to the test. Let's see, based off just the school logo, do they know the teams that Syracuse men's lacrosse is going to play this season? Let's find out.
My first assignment as a special agent was here in New Orleans. My career would take me all over the country, into different parts of the world. But this city, the city that I love, was always with me. And now I'm back. And the security for Super Bowl 59, well, it's personal.
I spoke to each one of the victims' families. A common theme continued to occur, and that was that they did not want the loss of those loved ones or those that were injured on that street to go in vain.
It's been 5 weeks since 14 people were murdered in New Orleans, and the wound is still fresh where it happened, right here on Bourbon Street. Obviously, a tragedy like this changes everything when it comes to security at the Super Bowl.
Naturally, there's a question of whether we have made adjustments in our security plan in light of the events of January 1. And the answer is an unequivocal yes.
We're going to have well over 2,000 law enforcement agents out there. I have a little saying, I want the community and our visitors who have come for this event to see a sea of blue.
The majority of our HSI New Orleans field office is comprised of native New Orleanians. This is the highest level of security on the federal side, and it's being done and led for New Orleans by New Orleans.
Dulon knows the city well, growing up just 85 miles from here in Louisiana. But what everybody involved knows is that in order to keep New Orleans safe this weekend, the hundreds of thousands visiting the Crescent City have to be involved.
I'd be remiss if I didn't prevail upon our most important partner, which is you. If you see or learn of something that may impact the safety and security of Super Bowl 59,
we want you to say something.
Say something.
And keep saying something until you are heard.
Ian Nicholas, Newhouse Sports.
And now, your Citrus TV Sports Report.
Where else would you rather be on a Friday night in New Orleans than the NFL's fan experience? Welcome into sports, I'm Ian Nicholas. So if you're not a fan of the Eagles or the Chiefs, I have good news for you if you were here, but you're not. Sorry, I'm rubbing it in. They're representing all 32 teams. You got Josh Allen, NFL's MVP, and Haley Steinfeld, his girlfriend. I mean, that guy is absolutely living life. And then you also see Drake May, could be a future NFL MVP. But you know what? Let's stop talking about all the teams that are in Philadelphia and Kansas City, because those two won in very different ways on championship weekend. First, you start with the Commanders-Eagles game, where Philadelphia blew their division rival out of the water. And then in Kansas City, Buffalo, well, it went down to the wire. And Bills fans, I don't need to remind you about how that one went in the officiating at the end. As we shift gears to Super Bowl Sunday, I'll leave you with one note. You already know Kendrick is doing the halftime show, but do you know you got to tune into the game at 6:30, and that you got to tune into Fox to watch it, and that Tom Brady is doing the color analysis? That should be interesting. TV 12 telling you what to watch out for in the Super Bowl. That's all I've got from down in New Orleans. Now let's send it back to Central New York, and specifically in the Dome with Matt Skifford.